This is going to be fun, so I am going on an unscripted rant about all of my delusions and why I'm so fucked up. If you clicked on this video, I really appreciate you wanting to bask in someone else's misery. And I don't blame you because I would do exactly the same thing. And I think it would be really fun listening to a she-male talk about being mentally ill. And it's very fun to judge others when you're not the one going through their suffering. So I'm just going to go off and I'm going to rank my delusions from most severe. So that'll be the first one I'm talking about, to least severe. So it doesn't necessarily mean that one is more harmful than the other. It just kind of means how heavily I believe one and then how little I believe. So as you can see, I'm not mentally equipped to be filming a YouTube video, particularly one about my mental suffering. But, you know, it's a good way to reflect and to share. You know, that was the perfect blooper for this video because I quite literally thought I was hearing voices. So anyway, without further ado, my most prominent delusion is that I was diagnosed with severe autism when I was a child, and everybody in my life is hiding it from me. See, this one is very severe because I honestly, truly still believe it. You know, what's harmful about this one is that when I tell people, they believe me and they say, you know what? That sounds about right. And that doesn't help. So I don't know where this originated from, but I was always convinced I was autistic, and I honestly very well could be. And I have evidence to prove this. And you know, well, I actually never had any type of autism or ADHD diagnosis as a child. I was just like diagnosed with major depressive disorder because I was just so miserable and insufferable, and all I did was daydream and I didn't want to leave my bedroom. My potential autism, which is canon, could have slipped through the cracks. I could very well be autistic severely and not know it. And I just believe that I was diagnosed as a child and that everyone is hiding it from me. Like, my family knows, my friends know, everyone knows. And I think I'm so smart because I think I can manipulate it out of people. And then if I beg hard enough, I will be told that I am autistic severely. I have like the wrong form of autism, and I'm just not smart, and I'm not a scientist, and I'm not a mathematician. And I'm just stuck in a loop of my own world and my own imagination. See, that might not be autism. It could be anything. And what sucks about this is that as an adult now, if I were to go to my psychiatrist and say, can you evaluate me for autism? And let's say I am autistic, what good is it going to do me now? I'm done school. And the thing is, I could have been so much smarter if I had gotten the help that I needed. And that's why you're watching this now, because obviously something didn't go right. And I'm posting a video on the internet of me talking about how honestly, at this point, I think it's a wish. I'm saying I wish I was autistic. But, you know, I could be. I think I have to have some form of severe mental disability to be recording this and uploading it onto the internet, where all 8 billion or however many people are in the world now could see it. But I don't care because I just think this is a dire matter. The one thing that gets me upset is that I should have been diagnosed with autism because I wouldn't have had to have lived the life that I lived. I could have just lived in my parents' basement. To me, that is a satisfying and complete life. I was just born for it, and instead I'm just somewhere in the middle. I don't really know how to further elaborate on this one because I just think a lot of people are autistic, and I could just very well be one of them. This is a delusion that could be a potential fact, but the delusional thing about it is that I believe that I was diagnosed and that everyone is hiding it from me. Or even if I wasn't diagnosed, that everyone knows I'm autistic. But anyway, delusion number 2, and this is one that I like having because I think it's so positive to think this way. It is that I am destined to become a celebrity and that I will become famous overnight one day. This is something that a lot of people this day and age think because It's always been easy to get famous, but it's easier now. I have just fallen for that mass hysteria that I will also become famous. This is a good one to have, and hear me out. If you think positively like this, and this is one that hasn't really negatively impacted my life as much. It's just more kind of been like a positivity thing. It's like, oh, nothing matters, nothing matters in my life because one day I'm just going to become rich and famous overnight and I'm going to become a millionaire and I can just do nothing and not work and own a really nice house in the middle of nowhere. At this point, I deserve that. And I'm just going to work towards it because what do I have to lose? And the reason I'm posting these videos is not to get famous. It's just because I like filming videos and I like exploiting myself. That is why I'd be a good celebrity. I hope like a model agency or like a film executive thing or whatever is like watching this because they can see me and they can know that like I can't be exploited because I'm already exploiting myself, so they can just use me however they want. And I wouldn't complain. I'd wear all the terrible outfits they make me, and I'd star in all the shitty movies they make me do, and I would like that. But in all seriousness though, I mean, I don't know. And I'll just be real with myself about that one. Like, just think positively and maybe I'll get somewhere. I could just get paid for doing nothing, aka my dream occupation. Delusion number 3 is one that I haven't had in a while. Thank God, because it was evil. It was evil. I would wish this on my worst enemy, but I wouldn't wish it on anyone except someone who I think deserves it. But this delusion is that my whole life is a dream and nothing that I'm feeling is real. And that is one of the most dangerous delusions you could have. And thankfully, I haven't dealt with it since I was like an early teenager. This is one that could lead you to some very, very dangerous and dark places. But thankfully, it just made me very depressed and I didn't even care. But basically, the moment I realized, okay, something's wrong is one day I walked like 30 minutes from my house somewhere and I forget what I was doing there. And all of a sudden I looked up into the sky and I said, I'm not really seeing this through my eyes. I'm in a dream. Or like, I'm just inside my head. My head has always felt so foggy and weird. And maybe I should get this checked out. But the thing is, I didn't really care about it. And I don't deal with it anymore. So what else is it gonna do? Maybe it could be a sign that I could develop schizophrenia in the future. No, I really think I am, because literally, I was just saying this yesterday. When I was 6, I had a hallucination that all these kids came into my room and started throwing around like all my toys and stuffed animals. And because of that, I was so upset and mad that I wrote with a red marker on my door. And this is not part of the hallucination. This I actually did. I wrote, "You, no." I said no. Just pretend this is with a red marker and not a red colored pencil. But this is exactly what I wrote. And another hallucination I had as a child. This was one that I was told by my mom, and I don't remember doing this, but apparently when she would put me to bed at night, I would get really scared and I would point at my toy box and I would say, "Dom." I don't know, maybe I had a submissive kink and I was just expressing it, that I needed a Dom. I have to ask her about it again, but I believe that it was a Dora figurine in my toy box. Do you think Dom is still with us?
I kept saying Dom was there, and nothing was in there except for this Dora figurine, so I don't know. I don't know what it was.
I think my signs of mental illness should have been taken more seriously, because my parents had to run the vacuum for me to fall asleep at night. I don't know what that means. I've never heard of that, besides it occurring in me. So some other honorable mentions, just, I wouldn't necessarily call these delusions I have. They might just be delusional thoughts. These are pretty common. Like, I know one of the most common ones is that everyone thinks they're hated by everyone. And, you know, I sometimes have that. But the thing is, the reason that it stopped affecting me is because I stopped caring about it at such a young age. And I said, you know what? Let people hate me. I really don't care because I don't like anyone really. I fucking hate people. And I don't really like anyone in the first place anyway. Yo, that's another thing. I twitch. Did you just see that? Do I have Tourette's or something? I probably do. I should get that checked out. I probably have something neurological. And maybe that explains why I hallucinated as a child and why my parents needed to run the vacuum at night for me to fall asleep. Maybe that explains a lot of things. I don't have as many delusions as I thought I did. I have delusional thoughts once in a while, and they don't really faze me because I just know that I'm crazy and that anything I say, do, or think is just driven by the fact that my brain is damaged. I guess the big takeaway from this is that while having mental illnesses isn't necessarily good, you should own them and just say, you know what, yeah, I'm mentally ill, but I don't care anymore. And you know what, just have self-esteem. Just own all your delusions and don't be ashamed of them. And if you're like me and there's something severely wrong with you, you know, don't hide it. Just post a video about it on YouTube. And that's all I have to say for today because I only got 4 hours of sleep last night and I had a really busy morning and I had to go fill out paperwork and I had to go to the doctors and I got 2 vaccines and I'm just sleepy. And you know, I'm not sure what I'm doing tonight because my plans got canceled, so I'm gonna have to find something fun to do. Or maybe I'll just stay in. I love staying in. But until the next time this deranged face appears on the internet.
It's like a loony bin up in here.